Today we're going to explain a new comedy romance drama called Will You Marry Me? The episode opens on our main heroine, Mary, who's a designer. She's at a festival giving a presentation for a project. The people across from her don't like her presentation. They make fun of her and start gossiping about her. After listening to all that gossip for a long time, Mary finally yells, "Fine, I don't want to work with any of you. You're all trash. You don't know anything." Next scene, Mary talks with her employee, Songi. Songi says, "I heard what happened in your presentation, how you got into that fight with them." She reassures Mary, "Don't worry, I'll pay you at the right time." But Songi admits she has doubts, and then they talk about a later vacancy. Songi looks at the screen and tells Mary about it. Later, Songi looks at one of Mary's prints and wants some changes made. She talks to her boss and asks for permission. The boss initially refuses, but later ends up agreeing. Mary thanks her for taking the job. In the next scene, Mary goes to a department store to buy a ring for her marriage. She messages her boyfriend, Wuju, asking, "Where are you? I'm waiting for you." But Wuju is with another woman they're flirting. He texts Mary back saying he can't come, that he's in a meeting. At that moment, a teddy bear bumps into Mary. Next, Mary talks to her mother, Yong-soo. Yong-soo says she found out Mary registered the marriage, but that's not enough, she must have a wedding. Mary replies she won't do a wedding, she doesn't have the money, and she has other work to do. Wuju's mother is talking about booking a hotel. Yong-soo points out that Wuju has a degree, and his husband is a university professor, they must have money. Then Yong-soo asks where Mary is. Mary says she's moved into her new home and is setting up her things. Yong-soo says she and Wuju should live together and not keep asking her for money. Mary says, "Okay, I understand," but then something falls under Wuju's foot. It turns out to be an earring. Mary says, "I'll call you later," and Yong-soo asks whose earring it might be. She checks the bed and finds a strand of hair. So, next scene, Mary is with Wuju. Wuju is checking his posts and says, "Look how great this photo did," and people are liking it. Mary says she knows the user who always likes and comments on all his posts, a girl. Wuju gets a little proud and says she's his colleague. Mary directly asks, "Did you sleep with her?" Wuju throws his drink away and says, "What nonsense are you talking about? Why would I sleep with her?" Mary shows the earring she found and says she found it on the bed. Then she shows a photo of the girl from a user. The girl in the photo is wearing the same earring. Wuju says he brought his colleague home to show his place. She must have dropped it there. He promises he'll return it. He says this happened last week, but Mary notices from the post that last week, he and that girl went to a resort together. Mary warns him, "If you keep lying, I'll make a scene at your office and tell everyone." He eventually confesses and says, "Yes, I slept with her, so what? I was stressed, so I did it." He insists this marriage won't happen with him. Mary says she'll do things on her own. Wuju then says, "Forgive me, I won't do it again," and slaps himself, pleading with her to be rational. "We already booked everything. We'll waste our money." He begs, "Please give me one more chance." At that moment, a message comes in from his girlfriend saying, "I'm here. Where are you? I'm waiting on the bed for you." Mary sees this. Wuju hides his phone and lies. "It's a message from my boss. He's calling me." Mary asks to see his phone. At first he refuses, then pretends to hand it over and runs off with the phone. Mary stops him and tries to grab it. Wuju drops the phone to the floor, trying to break it, but Mary's hand gets in the way, and she gets hurt. Wuju says, "Are you okay? You shouldn't have gotten involved. Why are you crossing the line?" Mary replies, "You're the one crossing the line. I don't know I want a divorce. We were together for 5 years. You forgot my birthday. You didn't come on the wedding day. I put on my wedding dress myself. I can't stand all this anymore. Let's get divorced." A drink spills across his face as she storms out. So, next scene, we meet our main hero, Wuju, who is at the airport arriving in South Korea. He's seated next to an elderly woman. An airline staff member and a man come over and say to Wuju, "This is my mother. I should be sitting here." Wuju refuses to give up the seat. After arriving in Korea, the elderly woman thanks him. Now we flash back to the scene from 14 hours earlier. At the airport, the elderly woman's son told a man, "Don't worry, I'll have my mother sign on the plane so the land will be ours." Wuju overheard this. Later, Wuju talks to his grandmother, Pilnyeon. Pilnyeon says, "You made it to Korea, come to me quickly." Wuju says she wants to meet him, but Pilnyeon says she doesn't want a meeting. "I prepared a good dish for you. Put it in the fridge and eat it later." Wuju says he can't come right now. In the next set of scenes, we see Wuju on several trips. enjoying himself, taking photos, and posting them on his Instagram. Later, Mary and Wuju leave the office together. The divorce papers will be finalized as soon as Mary signs. Wuju asks if Mary is going to tell her mother about them. Mary refuses and says she'll tell her later. Wuju says, "Our breakup was for the best. You were being too hard on me." But then everything changes. Wuju's girlfriend calls asking, "Where did you go? I'm waiting at the airport." Mary sees Wuju. He claims he's on an occasion and that the phone call was from his boss. He tries to shake hands and says, "Forget everything about me. I'll find someone better for you." Mary tells him to go jump in a lake and starts to walk away. Wuju's girlfriend calls again. He pushes her and runs off. She yells back, but he doesn't listen. At 7:01, the next scene shows Mary blowing off steam by playing a game. She tells herself, "No matter what happens, I'll live without you. I'll make lots of money. I'll go on blind dates." After saying all that, she starts to cry. On the other side, we see our main guy, Wuju, leaving the place where he'd been staying. A woman named Wu-man comes up to him and says, "You're leaving now? I don't know why I'm feeling sad." She later gives him something to eat. Wuju says, "I had to go, but next time I come back, I'll bring you bread. You don't know, but our bakery is huge. It's famous around the world." We see the bakery later. The owner is Pil Neon, who is Wuju's grandmother. Wuju's aunt Mayan is there, along with a cousin named Yongshu. Reporters come to interview Pil Neon and she's given an annual prize. Meanwhile, Mary is at home talking with a friend and looking over the divorce papers. She realizes she forgot to sign them. She still needs to give them to someone. Then there's a knock at the door. It's a police officer and a woman. The next scene takes her to the police station, where she finds out the realtor who sold her building scammed her. The building's previous owner used to live overseas, so the realtor put the building on a fake listing, got signatures, took the money, and ran. Mary asks, "What will happen to me? I need my money. That money is my mom's." The officer says there's nothing they can do right now. She has to move out. Mary calls Wuju to tell him what happened. At first, he seems indifferent. Mary says, "You told me you knew a lawyer. Put me in touch. I need my money." She insists the money belongs to her mother. Wuju gestures toward his own pockets and says he won't help. Later, he repeats it. He won't help. Now they're complete strangers. Mary gets very drunk and tells herself he was right. They really are strangers now. Wuju's mother calls, asking about him and offering to send food like she always does. But Mary tells her not to. Yongsoo asks if everything's okay. Mary agrees. Yongsoo says she doesn't have much time left, and whatever she can do for both of them, she will. Meanwhile, Wuju is headed somewhere but goes the wrong way. Mary, stumbling drunk, has a small accident. Wuju gets out of his car and asks, "Are you okay? You should go to the hospital." Mary insists she's fine and tries to leave, but Wuju stops her. "I don't think you're okay. Give me your number. If you go see a doctor, I'll call you." Mary agrees and gives him her number. As he starts to walk away, she sees his name on his shirt. It's Wuju and stops him. "Where are you going? Why are you ignoring my calls?" Wuju says, "When did I do that?" She grabs him and starts hitting him. Wuju asks, "What are you doing?" Mary, totally drunk, screams she wants the money, 100 million won. Wuju says he has no money. He tries to get back into his car, but Mary jumps in with him and keeps kicking. He manages to pull her out, but she climbs back in on top of him, and the fight goes on for a while. Mary, wasted, insists he should be her Wuju. She cries, "What am I going to do now? Why did you cheat on me? What will I tell my mother?" "You don't have any money now." Wuju asks if she's all right. She nods, but he says, "I don't think you're okay." Then Mary looks down and realizes she's sitting on a cactus. The next scene shows Mary at the hospital, where Dr. Jin is removing the thorns. A little later, the nurses gossip that she must have been drunk and sat down where she shouldn't have. They notice she's nearby. Mary doesn't say anything and leaves. We see Jin Guang talking with Wuju, saying, "You're here for a month. Why didn't you come see me?" Wuju asks, "How did you find out?" Jin Guang says his father is Wuju's grandmother's doctor, and that during checkups, Wuju's grandmother mentioned it. Jin Guang asks, "Who was that girl? Is she your girlfriend?" Wuju denies it and starts to explain what happened. But Jin Guang says it's a long story, and he'll tell him later. While Jin Guang yawns, Wuju gently touches his face and teases him to cover his face when yawning. Jin Guang asks, "Want to go grab coffee?" Wuju agrees and then spots Mary nearby. Wuju says he had told Mary to get an X-ray, but she wouldn't listen. He runs off after her. In the next scene, Mary and Wuju are together again. Mary says she could have taken a taxi, and Wuju replies, "Would you just sit there like that?" Mary apologizes, "I'm sorry, I mistook you for someone else." Wuju tells her to stop talking. He can smell alcohol on her breath. Later, Mary stops the car and gets out, looking at the sunrise. She says, "My world is ruined," but notes that sunrises and sunsets keep happening. There must be some way out. Her stomach growls and she says, "Breakfast is on me." Wuju refuses and says he'll take her home. At her door, Mary tells him she'll send the money. He tells her to go see a doctor for a checkup. Then he leaves. Mary goes inside and lies down, asking herself why she acted that way and that she shouldn't have. Arc. Next, we see a company hosting a wedding festival, kind of like a lucky draw. Everyone writes their name and puts it into a jar. Whoever's name is drawn wins a 5,000,000 townhouse. The company CEO who's giving away the townhouse is Sang-yoon, and he's with his secretary. But the lucky draw is rigged. They already pre-selected who will be chosen. You can see the guy there who's the mayor's nephew. Sang slips a card and bends it a little so he can recognize it later, hiding it on his arm. The lucky draw begins. The jar is passed to the newlyweds. Someone is about to pull a card from the jar, but drops the card. It slips from his hand and he doesn't know where it went. He tries hard to find it. But just then, the card lands in his hand. He thinks it must be his because he's the one who bent it. But when he reads the name, it turns out to be Mary's. In the next scene, Mary gets a call telling her she's won the prize. She remembers the moment when she was coming back from the department store and accidentally bumped into a teddy bear. That's when she first found out about the wedding festival and decided to put her name in for the lucky draw. The organizers talk to her and explain what documents she'll need to submit, including proof of marriage. Mary starts to wonder how she'll provide that. After all, she's divorced. But then she realizes the divorce papers are still with her, and she never signed them. She quickly opens her laptop and cancels the divorce filing. Meanwhile, one of the staff members talks to Sang-yoon and says, "The woman who won the townhouse called me. She sent all the documents and meets all the requirements, but she mentioned her husband can't come because he lives abroad." Sang-yoon replies, "We'll have to postpone this. Tell her that having her husband present is mandatory." Later, that same person calls Mary and explains the situation. Mary says, "But you told me before that my husband didn't need to be there. Just me." The man replies, "I don't know about that, but it's the company's rule. When the award ceremony happens, both you and your husband have to be there to receive it." Mary has no choice. She sends a voice message to Wuju, saying it's really important. She tells him she's won a lucky draw and explains everything. But Wuju is with his girlfriend at the time. They're in the shower together. When he sees the message, his girlfriend asks what it is. Wuju just says, "Nothing, it's spam," and deletes it without even listening. Mary has no idea what to do now. Then she gets a text from the main guy, asking, "Did you go to the doctor?" She replies no. When she sees his name, Wuju, she suddenly gets an idea. She realizes she never told the department store who her husband was, so she could just take him along. In the next scene, she's talking with Wuju. He asks again, "Did you go to the doctor?" She says no, that she got busy and couldn't make it. Then she casually asks, "By the way, are you married?" Wuju says no. Mary looks relieved. She smiles and says, "I know it's only been a day since we met, and it might be too soon to ask this, but will you be my husband?" And that's where the episode ends. We'll meet again in episode 2. Until then, bye.